Okay, now here I am. It's Lansdale and it's First Fridays, and it was called Wet and Wild, so I was hoping they wouldn't cancel it because of the rainstorm we just had. But so I'm here and I'm gonna take a little walk. There's a couple blocks that they have some activity. There we go. And I'll put that under there. And we'll see. I know you hate it when I'm walking because it bounces it around, but let's see how I do with that tonight. Okay. All right. Well, there's something across the street there. Maybe I'll go down this way a little bit. Ah! A little tight squeeze. Now the problem is it's going to be noisy. Yeah, I hate that. It's so noisy you can't hear anything. Well, let me see what happens. They got jugglers and food trucks and kids things. Thank you. Yeah. Now, did you get the website at the bottom?
Yeah, I did not know.
The Flat.1.com. That's where you get everything in the 200 proofs video.
Okay, cool.
Okay. This looks like the end of it. Are you educated? It's a totally different model. You got to look into it and look at the evidence. It's absolutely true. The earth is flat, buddy. Yeah, there's no curvature.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
You serious?
Yeah, I took a video from Wildwood to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
That's 32.6 miles. It should have had 681 feet of curvature. It should have been down 681 feet.
You know how to do math?
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah. What's the equator?
I don't know, but
Okay,
the Earth
so
isn't
you don't
flat.
know anything about the globe.
No,
All you
but-
saw is fake pictures from space.
Why is the moon round?
I'm talking about the surface of the Earth.
Why is the moon round?
Because you can only see 2 dimensions in a telescope. You don't know if it's spherical.
Get out of here. Don't be
How big is the equator?
I have no idea.
Okay, it's 24,901. My dad was a math teacher.
Okay.
Okay? So if you take your curvature formula,
901 what?
miles. The curvature formula is 8 inches times a mile squared. That
Says
gives
who?
you your
Says
parabola.
who?
Everybody. The Earth curvature calculator on the internet, Earth curvature calculator agrees
Made up
with
by
that. It agrees with that.
Says who?
Everybody.
Says who?
Everybody. Except you, who never looked into it.
I don't need to look into it to know the Earth was round.
No, you do, because you can't prove a globe.
I flew around the world
Yeah, so did I.
from one end to the
Yeah.
other.
And you went like this.
Probably.
I don't know where my compass went. All compasses point north.
Okay.
So you're circumnavigating means going in a circle.
True.
It's a circle.
But when you fly to Germany, you fly over Antarctica.
Antarctica or
Well, it's an
Arctic?
Arctic.
The Arctic.
The Arctic.
Yeah, because it's a straight line.
Correct.
It's a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying if you take a boat and you go this way, what happens?
You go to Antarctica. Anything away from north is
You're
towards
contradicting yourself.
No.
Yes.
This is north,
Okay. So if I take a boat and go south, where am I going to end up?
Antarctica,
Until when?
till you get to the
And then
edge
what? I fall off?
of the dome. There is a dome. We have proof of that.
You sound absolutely insane. You know that, right?
No, I sound different than what you've been taught. That's all I sound.
I'll argue with you all day. but you
There's
sound
2
crazy.
models.
You saying the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 models.
So that's Kyrie Irving's mom, dude.
So
From a different mother or brother or something. I
Could
don't
be.
are you serious? You're Kyrie Irving's mom?
No.
No,
But
that
Kyrie
he's
Irving was
joking.
the one saying that the Earth was flat.
Look, there's 2 models. There's a globe, which is what we've been taught,
Okay,
and
what
the
about
flat.
the poles? How do you explain the
Okay,
north and the south?
do you know how-
Pools from the moon.
Do you know how a car speaker works?
Huh?
Do you know
How
how?
do you explain
Get a
gravity?
positive and a negative.
No,
pole.
no, you get one question
I
at a
know how- I
time.
know how a spear works.
Okay, so the North Pole's in the center,
Yeah.
Okay.
and the rim is the South Pole.
The what?
And there's an electric torus field that goes all around. The aurora borealis is caused by the torus field
okay.
coming up
Wait,
at the poles.
one more
This is the
question.
North Pole, and the South Pole is around the edge.
Okay.
We
Why
live
do they
in an
call
electric universe. Tesla proved that. There's free-flowing electricity up there. The
Yeah.
sun is very small and close, okay? And it could be as close as 10 miles, and it's small. And it's like a filament, a light bulb filament. An anode, and the moon is a cathode.
Yeah.
And it gives off a different light.
Quick question. Okay, now so if the Earth is flat, like you saying, right, and we have a sun, is the sun flat or what?
She's saying the sun's not
You-
as big as they say it is.
Okay,
And
but
you
if
can
the Earth-
only see it through a telescope.
Okay,
It
that's
can
fine.
only be-
If the Earth is flat and you shine the light on a flat surface, shouldn't the whole surface radiate all at once?
No, because it's very small.
So
It's
how does it
right
hit
here.
certain
Yeah,
part-
how
I'm
does
right
it-
here.
How does
Look,
Let me see your schematic.
take your eyes and
All right,
look
let's see.
here.
Let me
Look
see.
here.
Okay.
It illuminates
So
only
you're
a
saying
portion
the
at a
sun-
time.
The sun revolves around the Earth, not the Earth around the sun.
Earth is stationary, does not move, and everything else revolves around
Basic
us.
Science.
No, it's
Yes.
the lying government taught you the globe model.
The government lies about when they teach sex ed in 7th grade.
No.
They lie
No.
about.
No.
I agree with you on some things.
They
But the
lie.
Earth being flat is not a topic.
And if you
that-
think it's because 1,000 years that they've known about this, no, because they write the history books too.
True.
So,
So-
okay, at what point, if I keep driving,
do I fall off?
do I fall off?
Here you go.
Where's the
We
end of
only,
Earth?
we only go to the edge of Antarctica. What's beyond that? We are not allowed to go since 1959. There was an Antarctic treaty signed by 53 countries that do not allow free exploration.
So the Earth is flat, and the Earth. how does the Earth? How do you have explain seasons?
The sun. The sun goes around.
Sun doesn't explain seasons.
Yes, it does. Where's the one with the
It has to be
the Capricorn.
The seasons have to do
Here.
the way the Earth is.
Here you go. Here's the Tropic of Cancer.
Okay.
There's the equator, and the Tropic of Capricorn, which is much bigger. And if you talk to anybody outside of the equator in the southern portion, they will tell you that the sun behaves differently down there than it does up here. They don't have the twilight that we do. You got to talk around the world to these different people and listen to what they're saying.
The gravitational pull of the poles is what keeps the Earth from turning the opposite
Is this
way.
your question is about gravity? You're telling me what the ball gravity model is, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what gravity is, the flat model.
This I don't know. Let me ask you this. Why do all compasses point north? You started with that.
Well,
Explain
here's
to me.
Australia.
I don't know how compasses work.
Okay, here's Australia, right?
Yeah.
There's the North Pole.
Okay.
How does a compass point north when you're in Australia?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
It can't go through the earth, can't go through the water, can't go around.
So it's pulling up, you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's going direct. It's going directly. Here's Australia.
So
There's the North Pole. It's a direct frickin' shot. That's why.
because it's flat.
16.
Yes. And the Taurus field, it points right to the North Pole. Yep. It's a magnetic Taurus
Is there
field.
areas in the world where compasses don't work? Where they're inaccurate?
I don't know. I haven't been to every place on the earth.
Because I'm pretty sure there's places in the southern hemisphere where
It's no
compasses are
southern
inaccurate.
hemisphere. She's saying the
There's only
southern.
one.
It's not a sphere, you're correct. But there is a southern outer rim.
How can you have a southern part?
Of your
It's
argument,
out.
That's
It's
not making
anything
sense.
that's outside of the equator, we call it the southern and the northern.
But
there has to be some
of all your
similarity.
arguments, that's the only one that kind of makes sense. Is that if you're standing here and your compass points this way, if you're standing here, your compass points that way. That kind
Is
of
it
makes sense.
enough? Is it enough to get you to watch this video 200 proofs?
No, because I'm not going to give you a penny on the internet, on YouTube.
What does that do?
I don't know. You know how YouTube works?
You get a penny? I don't know.
Every
There's
view, you get a penny.
really? I don't know that. We had this we had that video on the it's called 200 proofs. And
I'll
this
tell you
is
right now,
number
on the internet,
this is number
I can
35.
find proof about anything.
Yeah.
I can find.
Yes, you can. So
I
then
can, whatever your point, whatever your argument,
All right.
you can find positive evidence towards it. Whatever you
Right.
want to find, that's what you
Right.
find.
Okay, so here
I
we
found
have
it- if me and you search the same thing right
we
now.
have gravity.
Explain to me this. Conspiracy.
no
If you
gravity.
and I- if
No,
you
we're
and
talking
I-
flat earth or I'm not
If you
talking.
and I Google the same thing right now,
Come on.
we put in the same question, we'll get
Okay.
different answers.
All right, gravity.
No.
Gravity pulls
conspiracy.
to the center of the ball. Okay?
Okay.
So, if there is no ball, if there is no curvature, there can't be gravity by definition.
I got you.
Okay? So, out in the west, western United States, we have something called the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about
I know
them?
what it is, yeah.
That's where they used to test those rocket
They
cars.
still do.
Yeah. So that's flat.
Yeah.
It was a salt lake that dried up. If the top was curved, then the bottom would have been curved too.
But you said that earlier. You're saying the curvature should be measurable in that short of a span, right?
100 miles?
Yeah.
The salt flats are 100 miles.
So that should be measurable.
Oh,
Is what you're
absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
The curvature should be
1/4 of the Earth is 6,000 miles on the exterior.
But what about wind
And
patterns
it's
and erosion?
It's a 4,000 mile drop. So in 6,000 miles, it's got to drop 4,000 miles. That's a formula.
How about in the
You want to go by that one, or
Yeah.
do you want to
No,
go
go ahead.
by that?
Go ahead.
See, you got to think. There has to be curvature. It has to be measurable.
But let me ask you this. Why are they lying?
Well, control,
Why?
money. All right. I was out on the river, the Delaware Water Gap. I was in a kayak last weekend.
Okay, I've been here.
Okay, it was very smooth, and I looked up on there. Holy cow! How can anybody say we are moving? I would have to deny all my senses.
But say-
Now wait.
Yeah.
I would have to deny all my senses. I would have to think I'm wrong about everything I'm not sensing. And that's one way they keep us in flux, and they don't allow us to have strength by
But
knowing
what are they
where.
hiding? What are they hiding?
I don't know if they're hiding anything, but where is it? Here.
what is-
Why? Money, control, power. The
About what,
purpose.
though?
The
About
purpose
what?
of government is to control. Govern means control. Meant is the
I
mind.
agree
Control
with you
the
with that,
mind.
but why are you arguing flat Earth to try to make that point? What?
Because
what
this-
monetary
This is.
benefit is there to having a flat Earth or a curved Earth?
Well, it depends on what they're hiding, doesn't it?
That's what you're not answering.
Okay. I don't know what they're hiding. They're freaking hiding it.
But
How can I know?
I don't know.
Who told you the Earth?
So look. No, well, no. But look, they don't follow the scientific method and money, control, power,
So you're
land,
saying
and resources.
There could be another side, and they're hiding that land.
I don't. I don't know. I don't know what's underneath.
What's the monetary thing? Everything you watch. What news channel do you watch? ABC.
I
NBC?
don't watch news.
You don't watch any news.
No,
Do you read any newspapers?
Well, yeah. But what do you believe? It's hard to know what to believe.
You kind of got to take it all in. It's up to you what you want to believe.
That's right.
I believe in what I see every day, and what I know is
Yes.
happening around me.
And do you feel like you're
believe in
moving?
this.
Are
I
you
believe in this.
moving?
You see all these people?
Are you moving?
Look, you see me again?
Are you moving?
If you were on a train
We agree with
and
everything.
you closed your eyes, you
Two
would not
different
know if you were moving.
Yeah, that means we're in an enclosed system.
Yeah, the
That doesn't
atmosphere of the
mean-
Earth.
You cannot have pressure next to zero pressure without a physical barrier. There has to be a dome.
Did you ever see a balloon in a van?
Yeah,
When you drive forward, which way does the van? Which
yeah,
way does the
it
balloon
stays
go?
still.
No,
No.
the balloon goes forward.
Well, if there's air pressure pushing on it.
No air pressure. Closed environment.
Well, there is air pressure in the car.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
But it's enclosed. It's
yeah.
controlled.
Yeah.
Why does the balloon go with the opposite direction of the momentum of the vehicle?
But you just told me that wasn't true.
It is true.
No,
Watch the video.
I said it stays still, and you said no.
No, it doesn't stay still. When you go forward,
Well, when I go forward,
Go
my
forward.
balloons go bouncing around in the
you
car.
see the window open.
No, they're bouncing around, they're moving around.
It's a
And
zero-
sometimes they float forward.
They just don't float forward.
I
Sure
agree
they
with
do.
you that there are certain things that are fed to certain people, but why? What is the reason behind it? I
Well,
would agree with you.
If you figure out, if once you accept that the Earth is a flat plane, then you tell me why are they doing this. I think it's
I
just
don't
for
think it's a flat plane.
money, control, and power.
If
And
I-
they want to control
If
us.
I get a basic dollar store telescope, I can see 3 or 4 planets, and I can see that they're all cylindrical. They're all circle. They're all
No,
round.
you can't see a cylindrical.
You can't see behind it.
Cylindrical is a tube.
Not a cylindrical. What do you
okay,
call it?
spherical.
Spherical.
No, they're not. You cannot see that in a
I can see
telescope.
it by definition. I can see the shadow. I can see the roundness.
No. You could get those curves if you had a bowl and tilted it too. You really don't know.
But why?
Yeah, why?
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 This is unbelievable. I've never seen that.
Why?
But why? Why would they do it?
Why does the sun rise?
The sun does not rise. The sun comes closer to us. It goes around on a flat plane. It's called perspective. Do you know what perspective is? Here. This is perspective. Come over here so you can see.
I can say it.
This is perspective. Down a long hallway. Okay. And here, the railroad tracks. You know they continue, but you can't see them. It goes to a point. As a vanishing point when there's 4 planes coming together. When there's only 2, like the sky and the ocean, that's a vanishing line.
Hang up this is hold on a second.
Here, this is a vanishing line. So when ships go over the curve, they're really going into the vanishing line. And the
then
reason,
where do they go?
and they just go off into the distance. And you can't focus.
So what happens? What happens when you go
When you
here?
stop with the fall off thing, it's dumb.
What happens there?
We think there's a dome beyond the edge. If you look up lightning sprites come off the dome.
There's a dome.
I wouldn't be out here if I didn't have some educated information for you.
You might be.
How deep is the Earth then? How deep is the crust? Like when Russia
Well-
drove like 12 miles deep, was that
Okay.
just like the government like dirt underneath the bottom?
I think they only dug 8 miles.
Ooh, maybe.
Here, Captain James Cook logged 60,000 miles around Antarctica, and he kept it to his port side. No, you said how big? How big? You said how
No, how
big?
deep is like the crust?
Oh, how do you
Digging a
know?
hole.
8 miles. That's
8
all I
miles.
know. I'm not going to tell you something I don't know.
No, I got you, but
Okay.
But how deep is the ocean?
How deep is the ocean?
Mariana's Trench is
I don't know.
what, 30,000 feet under?
What? I'm talking about the surface of the Earth.
So what are we
Explain gravity.
Gravity. I just went over that, but I'll tell you again.
Back of a turtle.
Gravity is defined as pulling to the center of a ball. So, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
No, gravity is the attraction between objects created by mass. That's not an attractional ball. That's incorrect.
I never heard anybody.
Gravity.
Gravity is pulling to the center of the ball.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's what makes the ball.
Coriolis?
That's what makes the ball.
Is that what's
That's
going
what they've been telling you or telling me. How old are you? 20? I mean, I'm 63.
Thank you.
And I'm 63, and they have changed things over the years. I have seen that.
When did they change?
There was not a time when they said
Definitions of
gravity was
words
attracted to a
even.
ball. That's not what
Yes,
gravity is.
gravity is what's holding this ball together and holding the water on the ball.
Well,
If you're going to argue with that, I don't have any basis of connection with you.
Quick question. How far are the two poles, the North and South Pole, from each other? Because you said there's no...
Extremely far.
No,
Okay.
according to her theory, what's the radius?
On this ball,
You said the Earth. You told me the Earth was. You said the Earth was what?
24,901.
Okay.
It's about 8,000 miles on the ball, but on this, 60,000 miles divided by pi is about 20,000 miles. That's about 20,000 miles.
So it's 20
Edge to edge.
Edge to edge.
Edge of Antarctica.
The radius of the Earth, the equator, is
That's the
approximately
only
20,000
argument that
miles.
actually kind of makes sense.
No, 24,901.
Around 20,000 miles. Anyway,
How would there be a south or a north pole if you don't have two tops? There
Do you know how a car
you would have
speaker?
to fly under the earth to have a
If
south
you're going to
pole.
argue, you want to ask a question, that's good. I can give you an answer. Do you know how a car speaker works?
sure. In what sense?
In the sense that this is one pole in the center, and the rim is the other pole, and in a car speaker, then it vibrates in between those
So
two
this
poles.
is the north pole and this is the south pole.
Yes.
But isn't a pole 1 point?
No, not for a car speaker. It's the rim, and that's how that works. If you go to the website, you'll get everything that you see on the banners. You can look it up yourself. And then you can ask yourself these questions. It took me a couple weeks thinking about perspective and how the sun sets and rises to understand that. It really is a perspective.
I want to work with the same thing you
what's your
stated earlier.
website there?
So you said
Available on
that
the-
gravity
I'm
is
gonna check it
attracted to
out.
a ball, but we don't have a ball. We're not on a sphere, according to
Correct,
Saturn,
right.
So why do we stay on the ground?
Okay, I have a theory of that. We don't have definite, just like gravity's a theory. It's not defined, it's not proven, okay? I believe we live in a torus field. Do you know what that is? Okay, so the Earth is in here like this. This is why we get the aurora borealis. The electricity comes up out of the North Pole, excites the elements in the lower atmos. Got it? Comes up and around. Now within here, I think there's diamagnetism. Oh, it's on the other side.
Okay.
I think it's a push down, not a pull down. That's what I think it is. But that's theory, see? We have no proof of that, except we do have levitation. Did you know that? There is levitation. The government has craft that it levitates. And we have ancient,
that use air.
they levitate as magnetism.
Well, okay.
And,
yes,
and,
we can do that. Sure.
and the pyramids were not built by thousands of slaves pulling it up a ramp. Those rocks were levitated. That's how they built those ancient structures. And you got to look into that stuff. We have a lot of good stuff on the internet.
They levitated the pyramids into place. I assume.
And those were energy machines. Those were machines. They put out energy. They were not just, somebody was buried there, I guess, but they were not tombs. They were energy generators, those pyramids.
How did they go about generating energy?
Well, you go in there, it's by sound. A lot of things can be done by sound. Like directed energy weapons they have nowadays.
Well, those do exist.
Yeah. Yeah, so look up this stuff.
A lot of fiction mixing together.
Hi guys, you have any questions? Is this weird or what? It's very interesting. If you take a picture, look up this website, flatearth101.com, and you'll get the 200 proofs video that has everything on both sides. Okay?
Do you have photo proof that it's flat? Good job!
No, but there's no photo proof that it's a ball either. Everything that you see from outer space is computer generated.
As you say.
Yeah, because we have forensic scientists in our group, in our club, in our community that have taken it apart, and they took
You don't
like.
think that they could be partial to their belief rather than actually telling
No,
you the truth?
I've seen that. Look. The reason I'm doing this is I went to Wildwood and myself, I took photos of Atlantic City, 32.6 miles away. That should have been hidden under 681 feet. Nothing is 68-story buildings are in Atlantic City. But I saw it myself. So, you know, I wouldn't come out here if I didn't have some proof.
So you started this because you saw Atlantic City from Wildwood?
I'm not the only one. This has been going on at least 4.5, 5 years. And people are just catching on to this. And I come out here just to give people an incentive to look it up. You gotta look it up, you gotta look into it. The government lies about everything. They wanna control us, they want to.
So are the other planets flat?
It's only had, planets have been only called planets for 100 years, you know that? Before that they were called wandering stars. Have you ever seen a star in a P1000 camera? It looks like a ripple in a swimming pool. It's not a solid object, and the moon is not a solid object. You can't land on it.
So I'm not...
You can't land on the moon. No, I'm telling you. Those, the Challenger astronauts are all alive.
I just have a gold.
They're all alive.
But
Yep.
so, the moon's not flat? The moon's a sphere.
I don't know if it's flat or sphere.
But that's my
just
question.
know
What about the other planets? Are they spheres or flat?
all the things you can see is a circle. That's the only thing you can, except Saturn, there's 2 dark spots in there. I don't know what those are. But they're not what the books say. Look it up on the website, watch a video, and just think about it. I think you're thinking, and that's a good thing.
I'm just thinking where you think it's flat at. What I'm wondering is if
The whole thing.
if
The whole thing.
if we're rotating on an axis and there's multiple planets around us, or stars, whatever you want to call them, why
They're
would they
fixed
all
in
be-
the dome.
Why would
The
they all be
dome
spheres but
turns
us not?
around us. The moon and the sun are on tracks that, did you ever see like quantum physics? A super chill disk.
Are they on a track that goes like this?
It's a super chill disk. They are levitated.
That's but it's in a circle, correct? Because in a circle,
No.
nothing can ever be correct.
No, they move south and north because they go on to the Capricorn, the equator,
They
and
move
then
this way
But see,
or this way. That's what I'm
they
asking.
move in and out.
This and this.
They move from here to the equator to Capricorn,
Right. So
and
the
back
sun
again.
and the moon rotate in a circle. You're saying.
over this area here.
So,
not,
but if they never go back and forth,
Yeah.
and they're in a circle, an eclipse would be impossible. You can't have anything if it's in a circle.
a solar
Two
eclipse.
planets cannot. The sun and the moon cannot hit each other.
It would be
if they're in a
impossible
circle.
if the Earth will never eclipse the moon. So they're lying about that. The moon can eclipse the sun.
How can the moon eclipse the sun if they're rotating on the same axis?
Well, because they can pass each other. They're not like in line. You have to look this up, and there's all these explanation videos. But look, water's always level no matter what you do to it. And all these oceans touch each other. They all touch each other, all the oceans. And if the water's not disturbed, it will be level on top. And all the oceans touch each other. You got to study it. It'll take you a couple of weeks to even.
That's it. But gravity pulls the water to the Earth, even if it's not flat.
Only
When it's
on the
going
ball
around.
is there gravity. On the flat Earth model, I think it's a push down. There is no center ball to pull towards. Yeah, I know. It's hard, and I know. It's like speaking a different language.
I'm trying to understand.
On the ball, there's gravity because it pulls to the center of the ball. But on the flat Earth model, I think it's a push down because of the diamagnetism torus field that I showed.
So you're saying there's no gravity when the Earth's flat? You're saying this isn't gravity?
I'm saying it's a push down, not a pull down. That's what I'm saying.
What's pushing?
There is a force. There absolutely is a force.
But we don't have a name for the force?
I call it diamagnetism. That's a known force. So take a look into it, girls. But don't argue with your teachers or she'll flunk you. Have a good day. Do you have a question? Okay. You got a question? I can answer your questions. It's real. It's real. If you're educated, challenge yourself. Come on. Well, and I know your job and your reputation is all based on your piece of paper. I understand that. Yeah? No, you can't prove this. You give me one proof of the globe. One proof. Give me one proof of the globe. Can you prove the ball? No, you can't. You can't prove it.
I'm staying out of this.
It's true, guys.
I want us to know what you can tell me about flat Earth.
Okay. Well, this is the best flat Earth map we have. It's called the Gleason's map. And it was taken out of the Boston Library. North Pole's in the center. North Pole's in the center. Antarctica goes all the way around the outside edge.
Yeah.
Captain Cook, he logged 60,000 miles. He logged 60,000 miles, and he kept Antarctica shore to his port side, so he couldn't get lost. But the books say he got lost in the Pacific. Guess who writes the books? Government. Yep. So, this is Antarctica. It's very high walls, and that keeps in the oceans. And I don't teach past that, except that there is a dome, and we know that by lightning sprites. If you ever looked up lightning sprites, they're very high charges, and they go off. You can see it coming off the dome. So, if there's a ball, there has to be curvature. Okay. So, based on a 24,901 equator, we came up with this formula. And that's on the Earth Curvature Calculator, and everybody agrees with it. But it's a unique formula because you have to be on a surface to see it drop away. It can't be a slice of the ball and going off arcs. But if you go by the equator, 1/4 of the way around is 6,000 miles. And the drop would be 4,000 miles. So we can go by that if you like. That's a 3-to-2 ratio. So every 3 miles of distance, there would be 2 miles of drop. So I think if you really want to argue with me, that's a better formula for you guys. But anyway, there's Chicago in a picture 60 miles away. And that should be under 2,400 feet of curvature. You should never see it.
So, if it was flat Earth, why can't we see anywhere else other than the mountain when you're on top of the highest point?
Who's we?
Anybody that climbs to the top of the...
Did you climb Mount Everest?
I don't have the money to.
Okay.
But,
Well, first off, there's something called visibility.
yeah.
You can only see so far. It's like driving in a fog. They spread the fog out, you know, and then you can only see so far. But if you go up in an airplane on a clear day, you'll know the horizon is at your eye level. It's not curving down. And when you're in an airplane, you can see pretty darn far. You would think it would go down. It doesn't. The horizon is up here.
So,
Yeah. That's right.
He's really smart, so he might have some wisdom on it.
so then what?
Well, a dome is self-supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't think that anything connects the Earth to the dome?
Well,
Or
guess
it's
what?
just a lid on top of the Earth.
After Admiral Byrd did his explorations in Antarctica in the 50s, in 1959 they came up with an Antarctic treaty which prevents any free exploration.
Yeah, you can't go there. Nobody can.
Right.
The government.
That's right.
Obama, I think, was like there all the
Senator John Kerry went down there and he flew 300 miles in from the edge for some religious ceremony. Now, what are they doing down there?
pedophilia, that's one.
Yeah, love that. You're right on top of it. That's good.
Vaccines, pedophilia,
Yep. Yeah, that's right. So, all the water is always level on the top, no matter what you do to it. If it's not disturbed, it's level. Okay? So all these oceans touch each other. So they're level with each other.
somewhere else.
So what was your other question?
I can't really remember.
Okay, well I'm gonna walk around.
See, my thing is that if it really is a dome, I think that there's going to be connecting points, and my best guess would be that there are 4 connecting points that it says in the Bible.
Yeah.
So
Well, they say the pillars,
the pillars.
and then there's the 4 corners.
Well,
now, what those are, I'm not quite sure how they fit in, but I know it's got to be there somewhere.
The 4 pillars, personally, what I think is that the problem with flat Earth is that it's two conflicting models, right? So the current model of the universe is that everything is round, right? But how does a flat Earth fit into a round model?
Okay, well, they're 2 different models.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So either everything is flat that we see, or the Earth is round.
Not necessarily.
So,
Not necessarily.
well,
With the dome and the Earth is stationary, and the Earth is the center of everything. The Earth is the center of the universe. Everything is in there that we know of. Everything that we know of is inside the dome.
yeah. Well,
The
that's
sun is very small and close. I would say within 10 miles of the surface. That's how small it is. See?
That's kind of hard.
I know, it's a hard thing to think.
But when you're brainwashed for so long, it's hard to take.
I love her. I know why you married her.
I'm very optimistic. I like to see all sides.
Yeah,
So I'm not convinced, but I'm curious.
yeah. Well, you got to be able to look at both sides, and where does the evidence fit? You know? So if you go here,
Any red flags?
go here, go to that website, and watch that video that's on the front page. That'll get you started. And then I had to study perspective for 2 weeks till I got it through my head. That was a real stickler for me. But now I know how the sun can just go away and look like it's going down. There's magnification, that moisture in the atmosphere that magnifies it, and then it looks like it's going down, but it's just going away.
So, let me ask you, sorry, real quick. What do you think about like chemtrails and all that? Do you think that's got something to do with it?
They freely admit it. They admit they're doing it.
Global engineering. China admitted it for the Olympics.
Yeah. It's
So
all
I
over.
wonder if that, like, everyone wants to know why. To poison us, or is it to?
Well,
like,
why would they put the sun in the center? Because they are Satan worshipers, sun, Ra, and they sacrifice children to Ra, the sun god. This is all, and the pedophilia, they kill babies, all that is all in their thing.
So, how do on a flat Earth model, how does the seasons, that's what it is.
Okay.
How do seasons work?
That's on the other side, hold on. Right here, North Pole's in the center. This is the Tropic of Cancer. Goes around like this, goes to the equator, and it goes to Capricorn. Capricorn is much bigger in the flat Earth model, but if you talk to anybody outside of the equator, like Australia, they will tell you the sun rose really fast, and there's no twilight. It's moving a lot faster down there. So, yeah.
So then, what do you think about the moon? What do you think the moon is then?
I think it's a filament.
Filament?
Yeah, like a light bulb kind of thing. Because there's free-flowing electricity up there. Tesla proved that. We live inside a torus field. And like the sun is like the anode and the moon is like the cathode because it gives off a different light.
Yeah.
It's like a cold light.
In the Bible, it's called a lesser light.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to believe that the sun is more than likely the gateway to heaven, and you can only get there during an eclipse, right? Because
there's a lot of theories going around.
If you want to think about it like this, according to the Bible,
I've heard you had to go to the North Pole too.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that according to the Bible, the gateway to heaven is guarded by a man with a fiery sword, right? So the sun could possibly be the gateway to heaven, and during an eclipse, it blocks out the fire, creating a portal.
There's a lot to ancient writings, and you have to decipher that.
Yeah.
I just want to get people interested in looking into this, because our government lies.
A couple years ago, in Bluebell.
What?
Saw you at Wawa Bluebell.
You did?
I worked there, yeah. I already heard about it, but then I saw you and I was like curious. Cool. A lot of people hear it and they're like, that's crazy, but I don't know. I kind of like conspiracy theories because they seem to be true most of the time.
Well, there's no sense in closing your mind off.
Yeah.
But in the Bible, there's only one verse that says, Isaiah 40:22. It says the circle of the earth. And everybody was taught that that meant a globe, and it doesn't. It meant the circle. The circle!
Oh, she's...
I think, honestly, you're going about it the wrong way.
Really?
Yeah, if you want to go change people's minds, you first have to take it requires a larger leap of faith than this. The largest leap of faith that one can take in cracking the code of globe Earth versus flat Earth would be proving to them that we never went to the moon.
Oh no, we never did. That was the first thing I looked into.
Yeah.
I see how many people are looking at her sign though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it takes 3 times hearing something before you take it seriously. And this could be step 1 for a lot of people.
I don't believe in vaccines.
I don't either.
I don't,
That's good, good.
I don't.
It's crazy.
I have an autoimmune disease. Knowing my history that I didn't know before, I was having reactions. So many people. You see these kids all injured and dying.
Look up Dr. John Bergman and Dr. Darren Schmidt on YouTube. They do a lot of natural ways of detoxing and getting heavy metals out of your system.
Yeah. I've been looking into that because it's not just injected now. We breathe it. It's in our foods, everything, you know. But I don't know. I don't play the whole I'm anti because I don't know for sure. I just read the actual pamphlet.
Well, they're taking away our choice.
Yeah. Our freedom.
Yeah. So what does that tell you? They have to force it on us because we wouldn't take it if we used our brain.
Are you
Good
informed?
talking to
Yes. You can send.
Have a good day.
By those who can't criticize.
Who controls what? Oh yeah, that saying?
You know.
Yes, by who you can't criticize. That's right. Have a good day. Look into it, guys.
How you doing, Marilyn?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good.
I see you're out here doing your thing.
Yeah,
Here, check out my thing.
cool.
Did you get a table
But
here?
I'm already saved, honey. I don't want to waste your
Oh,
papers.
don't waste it, then, of course.
You already know
Do you
that.
usually come out here?
I try to get every event. I was here at Bike Night last year and Hot Rod Night, and yeah.
Marilyn, this is my brother in Christ, Shane.